Colin Maley, Lance, wants to know, with this car, which he believes, and I'm sure many others do as well, that it's a significant step up from the car you've been driving for the last couple of years. Have you had much of an input, Sergio? Do you get much of an input into the design to suit your driving style? Is that possible these days?
Well, when I jumped in last year in Abu Dhabi, after the first lap, I had goosebumps. It was just so nice to to get behind the wheel of the Force India at the time, and I'm really of course my first year in the team, so I haven't had much input on the development from last year's car, but I've done a fair bit of simulator work over the winter, and I can definitely see the car coming along, and it's looking very promising for the season.
Do you, Sergio, spend the first few days at testing, kind of getting a feel for the car, feeding back, saying, look, could I have this? Could I have this? Is this possible?
Yeah, of course, it's important, those first days of testing to see which direction we need to focus the most. Obviously, we're expecting a long improvement during the season. So it will be important for us as a driver to guide the team, to tell them where we have to go quicker, and hopefully to have a fantastic car throughout the season.
Lance, Henry Riley would like to know, are you looking forward to being in a competitive car against a tried and tested driver like Sergio Perez?
Yes.
This is the reason why we put a car in between the two drivers, because we want to ask this question honestly.
It's a breath of fresh air to get to jump in a car of this caliber. I don't want to speak too soon. We haven't started testing yet, but it's definitely going to be fun. Hopefully we can fight for points, on a regular basis, and get a few podiums along the way. That'd be fun.
You're judged against your teammate in Formula One. How important at this stage in your career is it to have a teammate to be judged against who's been on the podium 8 times before?
It's Sergio. Has definitely made his place in Formula One, and he's been exceptional with the material he's had over the years. Otmar mentioned it in the video earlier that he really shows up on Sundays, and it's definitely. I'm not too bad in Baku, though, I must say. I know you're pretty good in Baku, but I'm all right. I'm not bad there either. So look out.
Yeah.
We'll let the driving do the talking.
Yeah, I'm going to just walk over this way because I think in fairness and balance, I need to ask the question from Henry Riley to Sergio. Are you looking forward to being in a competitive car against a tried and tested driver like Lance Stroll? I think it's only fair.
No, I'm really looking forward, to work with Lance, to also learn, see what he's good at, what he's weak at. It's always important to find out. He's shown really good speed. I was, to be honest, surprised with the level of speed that he's shown in his first day testing with us last year in Abu Dhabi. So I know he has the talent. Every time that the conditions were difficult, he was always up there. So he definitely got the talent. He's very young, and it's not going to be easy. I look forward to be doing a fantastic job together with him, and see how many points we can score together.
Yeah.
And podiums.
Absolutely. And with that attitude, Otmar,
Crofty, can I just interject a little bit?
You're going to?
Yeah. So it's never easy spending an entire season in one car, getting used to it, knowing it, and then jumping in another car, totally different, at a different level, in a test, which is what Lance had to do. And Sergio, myself, and Lance's dad were watching. And I kept saying to Lawrence, I've got a son too, so I understand the dynamic. I said, we've got to just make sure Lance gets used to our car, gets used to our engineers, gets used to our way of working, all weekend because it's going to be totally different for him. Totally different. We're a different team. So let's not worry about the lap time. So we had this agreement all weekend. Don't worry about the lap time. He's got to get used to who we are. The lap time will come. What was it? 3-4 laps into it? Lawrence said, "Did you see the lap time?" Do you remember that, Sergio?
Yeah.
I
So
remember well that one.
he's a talented youngster. We forget. He's only 20 years old. He's been on the podium.
I saw the lap time too.
He's been on the podium. He's been on the front row. And the thing that I'm impressed with, he's been on the front row in the wet in Monza. Not an easy track.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we've got a good...
Get up and do a rain dance, Otmar, first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll need a bit of rain. But between the two of them, we got a great combination of experience. And like I said, Sergio on a Sunday, clinical. And great potential, which he's shown already. 20 years old, 2 years in Formula One. This is his third year with a team around him that will take him to where Lance can be. So we will help him. And for all of you Canadian fans, you got a Canadian on the grid.
Okay.
I'm glad you did interject there. What I was going to ask, with Sergio saying, I'm looking forward to racing, competing against Lance, but working together to score points for the teams. With that sort of attitude, does your inherent desire to let your drivers race against each other continue this year with Racing Point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every team has this conundrum or dilemma, and we need to let them race. However, they both need to understand, like I've always said, team comes first. They're one of 425 of us. And like Andrew says, the guys and girls back at the factory put in an immense amount of time and hours, and we have to respect their efforts, even on track. So when we've got great potential for both of them to finish high in the points, what we got to make sure is that they do finish high in the points, and that comes first and foremost. But in the past, Sergio will attest to this, whatever teammate he's had, we have worked together because working together as drivers and as engineering teams and as strategy teams lifts the whole thing. And that's one thing we've been good at, and that's one thing that I and Andrew will make sure we don't lose.
Fantastic. Lance, you sit here today, new era, new livery, new name, in Canada, the country of your birth. You're a Canadian racing driver. The team that you're going to be driving for has a Canadian shareholders amongst it, and Canada very much at the heart of this new era. How proud, and I don't know if you can put this into words or not, do you feel as a Canadian racing driver today?
It's honestly, it's undescribable. You said it all. I don't really have much more to add. It's a dream come true. That's what I can say about it. I rolled out of bed this morning, and it's a little jet lagged, but just the idea of that, it really, it puts a smile on my face, and we're doing all this talking, but I just can't wait to jump in the car and get the ball rolling.
I don't know many guys your age who'd actually smile at the start time that we had for work this morning. But that says a lot about how proud you were, because you came in with this massive big grin on your face.
Yeah,
Here we
sure.
go.
It's always good to be home.
Crafty, I just realized we've got a North American driver lineup.
We have got a North American driver lineup. Mexico is part of North America.
For sure.
We actually had this debate last night. You weren't there. We had a debate in the bar as to where Mexico was, Central or North America, and I won. So we can have this debate again. But yeah, an all North American driver lineup. This continent is rooting for both of you.
Yeah, it is a North American team.
But what that means is you've got to get Canada to root for Sergio when we go to Montreal for the race. And then in return, Sergio will get a whole lot of banners with "We Love Lance." Yeah, when we go to Mexico City.
Okay, I'll post some strings, but I'll definitely have majority. No offense.
When we get to Mexico.
Yeah. Goes both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. I think Montreal for me, it's always very special because it's so close to Mexico that I get a lot of Mexican support. But now it's gonna be really it's gonna feel like a home race, you know, having all the support from the Canadians, couple of Mexicans, so fantastic race for us.